Back at Sun Tech, the students are still hard at work, taking their pedal cars to the next level to be auction ready.
Thinking was with this, because we don't want the pedal assembly to be visible.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much leg room we need. But obviously the kids' legs ain't gonna be here.
Yeah. We can do anything up to like here and then go up.
My thinking was we're gonna have that 3-foot motor.
Yeah.
Plate steel, there's something to cover this whole area up, so when you open the hood, it looks like an actual engine bay.
Yeah.
And then we can make it look like it's got wheel wells and a radiator.
The desire to pursue collision repair and other automotive hobbies is not built in. This passion was cultivated and molded by those who came before them.
I would always watch my uncle and stepdad and then work on them, but I never like touched them. I don't know, it's intrigued me like a lot, just watching them fix it. And I was like, I want to do that when I get older.
So growing up, me and my pap always just worked on like our tractors, like all of our farm equipment, our vehicles, like stuff like that. But it was mainly just engines and stuff. So I never really did like anything body work wise and stuff like that. So I've always wanted to be able to do like my own things, to my own stuff. You know what I mean? So I think that definitely got me into it.
I grew up working on my stepdad's Mustang that he had, that we had to repair the other vehicles before he had it. Stepdad's family brings a lot of their cars over for like body work and stuff, so we work on some of that, which made me wonder how I could do it, so I could also help.
Well, I definitely got it from my pap and my dad. My pap used to be a mechanic. He worked at Middleburg Ford like 1983. He built the garage, and then he started working for himself out of his garage. So that's our garage at my house, and we're still working out of it. And my dad never really cared for working on cars too much, but he went down, I think that was 97 or 98, I think. Dad went down to Arizona to a trade school to learn how to work on motorcycles, because he likes motorcycles, he likes working on them. He's a part of Chapter 19 MMCI, and so is my pap. So I kind of got into motorcycles that way, and I always liked them.
I helped one of my buddies with his car. Just seeing the progression of how everything went and seeing it finally come to the end where it was painted. It was like everything that I did under that was hidden, but I still knew that I did that.
Started getting into cars when I was younger, like watching TV shows with my brother and stuff, like Count's Customs and Gas Monkey Garage and stuff. And I got interested in cars when my brother started bringing cars home and stuff and working on them and everything.
I grew up with my dad, and I did help my dad a lot with his vehicles. We used to go to a lot of car shows, dealerships, stuff like that, and I just always grew up around cars and just had an experience with them.
I've always just kind of watched my brother and my dad work on cars.
I always did it with my brother because he was like one of the biggest role models for me. And also I have 2 older cousins. Their names are Jared and Jason, and they're mostly brothers to me. So I like to say I technically have 3 brothers, because I always was around them growing up during the summer, and we pretty much worked on everything together.
I helped my dad like work on a few trucks. Like as I grew up, we used to always go up to the shop and fix trucks, cars, whatever you can name, pretty much.
I used to help my dad work on an old truck he had. We used to strip it down, rebuild it, do a lot of different stuff to it, and it was fun to do. And I got to spend quality time with him and enjoy working on vehicles, because that's what I enjoy doing.
It's the people who passed their passions down to them that drives these students to take these pedal cars and not only just paint them, but to go the extra mile and make these pedal cars collector's items. To go that extra mile, we don't actually have to travel too far. Next door to Sun Tech is their Sun Tech West building that houses their mechanical electronics program. The students of collision repair will be relying on some help from a few of their fellow classmates in a different discipline.
I'm Kevin Yakima. I teach electrical mechanical technology. It's also known as mechatronics. This is a third-year program at Sun. What we do here is we build things, fix things, design things, but our main focus is on industrial maintenance technicians, guys who go out and girls who go out and fix machinery, focus on the electrical side of things, but also the mechanical side of things, which is gears, chains, belts, pulleys. So Mr. Reeder reached out to me, had a question about some things, and it just kind of was an organic fit. And I said, hey, I'd love to be involved with that if you want me to be involved. I have a student or two who could help out, specifically Jonas. He wants to go on to be an engineer and focus his study on design. So it was a perfect fit. So we got Jonas, we got Alex involved, who is our class president and really understands the 3D printing side of things, and Jonas, his strength is in design. We gave him, I think, a tail light to start with, and I said, hey, can you work on this here? I gave him a set of calipers, what we wanted, and he had the tail light designed in a matter of minutes. So we knew it was just going to be a perfect fit for our program, and then he's been designing other parts as well.
So this is SolidWorks, the 3D CAD design, and you can do a lot of different things. You can make a sketch here. Depending on what you're doing, you can do several different things, like extrude or revolve. For this one, I did revolve to make the headlight. Then we take this and we put it into the slicing program, and then we go out to the 3D printer.
So how does that work now? That it's just in a bed of plastic. How does it make the shape out of that?
So the best way I've been explaining it. We'll put the design to this chip right here, and it'll print out what we have in there.
I requested that we buy a resin printer because of the high quality prints they can do. Compared to something like this that was printed with our Ender 5s, you can see it, all the layer lines, but with something like a resin printer, it's printing at such a high quality that you can't see the lines.
With those final details being printed up by the talented students in mechatronics, the finishing touches on the pedal cars are being added.
The realization of how much work so much of this stuff is. You know, some of them had some pretty grand ideas, and then they realized real fast how much work it is to make that actually happen. So just like that growth and like understanding like how this whole process works with these, even something as small as this, I keep telling them, like, all right guys, like, you know, you did this taping to get this silver in here on this car and it took you half a day. Just imagine what it would take you on a full-size car to do that. So just kind of getting that understanding of all the work that's involved. The ability to paint has come tenfold. These kids, at the beginning, we didn't know how to mix paint, didn't know how to spray anything. Now they've gotten a ton of practice spraying all different colors and clears and primers and everything. So they've definitely learned a lot, there's no doubt.
It's definitely a work in progress, but it's slowly turning out how it's supposed to be.
This is completely opposite of what we drew up on paper at the beginning. So we were going to do like, this was originally going to be like like Cannon's car over there, kind of like a blue like that, like an old, like kind of like a Chevy blue. That was gonna be airbrushed to look like it was rusted, and then the hood was gonna be peeled out with a big blower sticking out. That was the original vision, and we went completely the opposite direction from that. We did kind of what looks more like a retro mod, just kind of a nice, clean street car. And it looks very cool.
It definitely went above and beyond what I was expecting. Like, the guys have all done a great job. The creativity's just been awesome. It's definitely way more than I initially had anticipated. At the beginning of this, I was thinking, we maybe paint them up cool and that kind of stuff, and didn't really think much more about, lights and, all these other things that we've done. So it's definitely exceeded my expectations greatly.
You'll be able to see the finished pedal cars on display at the AACA Car Museum in Hershey, Pennsylvania, before they're auctioned off at the 2025 Spring Carlisle Collector Car Auction. All proceeds from the pedal car auction will directly benefit the students at SunTech.